The left-wing anti-monarchy group Republic have been rattled because some schools are going to be teaching kids about British Constitution and the coronation. Now, we live in a country where people could have legitimate reasons to be monarchists, to be Republicans, or to be royalists, or neither, right? So there's a difference between being a royalist and a monarchist. I'm not a royalist, I'm a monarchist. I care about the constitution, I care about the crown and the role of the crown in the constitution. I don't want to have a political leader, a party politically leaning person to be voted in and spend taxpayers' money on to become president. That's also a problem. But some people don't like the royal family. Some people don't like the way it's working. But I don't really care about the royal family itself. I care about the crown. I care about the role. So the problem we have is that there are legitimate people who just don't want monarchy either, but they're not really communists. But we also have actual leftists with their own agenda who want to bring down the constitution. They want to bring down the crown in order to bring down the constitution. So some of these people are having a meltdown because some schools are going to be teaching coronation lessons to teach about the constitution and how the whole ceremony also works and what the role of the crown is and everything else, just to teach the facts so that young people understand the facts. And if they do it like that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's brilliant. Kids need to know more about the factual points of the constitution, not some sort of bias lesson, propaganda lesson, whether it's in favor of monarchy or republic. I don't like any sort of bias, regardless of which side they're doing it for. But the Republic, this organization that is basically a left-wing anti-constitution sort of group, they decided to say, this is appalling. Oh, appalling. We will be taking action to challenge this. I'm sorry, what? What are you going to do? Pick up a phone call to lawyers? Are you going to start rioting like the French? What are you going to do? We're going to take action to challenge us. All right. What is this actually about? So we got one of the teachers, Steve Mastin, who said, I don't think you have to be a pro-monarchy teacher to teach a lesson about the coronation and constitution. Because I think the Department for Education was thinking that children should know what's going to happen on the 6th of May. Otherwise, it's just a TV program where a crown gets put on King Charles's head. But of course, it's much more than that. It's part of our history that goes back 1,000 years. And it's not just about the history of it, or tourism or any of that nonsense. It's the constitution. It's the system. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. It's kept this country relatively stable, apart from that few years when Oliver Cromwell came and messed up the whole system, became a dictator, and Charles I also messed it up. Yeah, we don't really have a good trend when it comes to Charleses, but overall, this country has been relatively stable for 1,000 years. I mean, look at the other systems. Look at all the other countries with the revolutions left, right, and center, and the coups and tyranny. And I'm not even saying that the system is perfect right now or government policies are perfect, because we are all still living in some sort of pseudo-authoritarian regime right now. But at least it's not Iran or China, or Soviet Union. The reality is that this is basically what's going to be happening. And Cameron Walker from GB said, he was talking about the YouGov poll, saying just 32% of young people between 18 to 24, support the continuation of the monarchy. Only 32%. Now, this is extremely concerning, because if any of you watching right now who is against the monarchy, but you're not a communist, you have your own reasons, you still want a relatively stable system. If you think that those young people have the same view for the same reasons, you'll be wrong. Because a lot of these young kids, they've been brainwashed by the political left, the almost anarchist sort of groups, the communists, who want to turn the system into a pseudo-presidential system in order to take advantage of the whole platform to bring down the civilization that we have. They are not supporting Republic for the same reasons that you are, for example. They are completely brainwashed. They will probably want to have Meghan Markle as their president and Jeremy Corbyn as their prime minister, and the whole system will come down. And that's when civility will go away. We have to protect the system as it is, not in terms of the governance. The governance of this country is chaotic. Everything from the state to the government, civil service, the NHS, the BBC, Downing Street, government departments, every single thing is a mess. Border control, defense, policing, government contracts. I can list everything. And the royal family itself is not perfect. But the constitution works. The constitution must be protected in order to shake up the system. The British Revolution is based on evolution. That's how we do British revolutions, not like the French or the Cubans or the Russians or the Chinese or the Iranians. We don't do that here. We do it differently. And if they don't fix it now, then do not be surprised if one day our streets will turn into what we're seeing right now in France, or what we saw in Cuba in the 50s, or in Iran in the 70s. Stop it now, before it gets worse. Have better political leaders. Have better political agenda. That's the only solution we could have. Anyway, the rant is over. Let's take a break. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.